Yeah, I think the physicality from their forwards is much different. Good in number 16, both really, really good forwards, tough physical guys, different than Fulgaris in terms of how they play stylistically. They're just going to try to beat you up around the rim, whether that's throwing the ball in the post, whether that's on the offensive glass. The scheme of what they're trying to do is somewhat similar. They're still running a lot of the same stuff that they ran last year that we're familiar with. But again, it's going to be about starting with our ball screen defense. We've got to be really good disrupting their flow with our ice coverage, and then it'll be about post defense and it'll be about defensive rebounding. Those will be the three biggest keys to the game for us.
Rich mentioned yesterday how a lot of the actions that Theo runs offensively are very similar to what Robert Morris runs. How do you feel like that, what you saw from them yesterday, can kind of prepare you for what you guys might see for Robert Morris, defensively?
Yeah, they're running a lot of the same stuff. The ball screen motion, a lot of split action, a lot of floppy action. We've been guarding that stuff for 5 or 6 days. Some of that's because Teal runs it, and some of it's because we wanted our guys to be very familiar and ready on a short turnaround to be able to play. And at least have an understanding of what Robert Morris is going to do too. But yeah, I mean we've been guarding it for 5 or 6 days. I think our guys have got a good idea of what we're trying to accomplish.
Even though they had a lot of new guys come into this season after the run last year, I mean it seems like they're kind of continuing off their momentum. They've won some games, they've beaten some teams this year. How important is a game like this in terms of top 4 seeding? And obviously, it's still early in the year, but it's a game that it could make or break, the standings come end of February and March.
Yeah, Robert Morris is a really good team. Very, very well coached. Very well coached. I think when you're playing against a team like them who I feel pretty confidently is going to compete for a league championship again this year, if you go on the road and beat them, it's like winning 2 games. That's what I told our team today. When you can go and beat one of the better teams in the league on the road, it's really, really gives you a leg up. I think they're going to win a lot of league games in that building this year. It's going to be a real challenge for us. We've got to play really, really good basketball, because they're playing very good basketball.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but the week off that you guys had last week, do you like having that in the middle of the season, those kind of long stretches without games?
Yeah, it seems like every year during finals week we do that, and we do it, strategically. One, so we can concentrate on our academics and make sure that we're finishing up strong in the classroom. But at this point in the year, we haven't had 5 or 6 practices in a week. And going all the way back to the before we started playing games, so it gives us a chance, kind of at the semester break to really get our minds freshened up, really get off of it what everybody else is doing, and just focus on what we need to improve on. And I thought we had a great week of prep last week and practice, just again trying to clean up some things that we got to get better at.
There are a couple of guys who are obviously familiar faces to you guys. Played for them last year. Good played by Wendy last year, and has obviously transferred to RMU. They've been the 2 leading scorers. What do you how do you guys looking to try to defend them, slow them down, based on the experiences that you guys have had previously going with them?
Yeah, good, playing like a first-team all-league player right now. I mean, really, really efficient scoring the basketball, doing it in a lot of different ways. He's scoring in the post, he's scoring off drives, he's making threes, and really, really just physically wearing people out on the glass, getting over 4 offensive rebounds a game. So we'll have to play with incredible toughness and physicality with him. We'll mix up our coverages on him to try to keep him off balance, throw different people at him, give him different looks. But he's going to be a real challenge to stop because he's playing great basketball. Prather, a much improved player. Last year was basically a 3-and-D guy for them. Still shooting, the 3 well, but I feel like he's done a good job expanding his game. Got a little bit more to his game off the bounce than he had last year. Another guy that is really, really rebounding the basketball from the guard position, getting almost 3 offensive rebounds a game. So again, with Prather, it starts by certainly taking him off the 3-point line and defending him. We got to support each other, support the ball when we do that, and we got to keep him off the glass.
Chris, obviously, he's always kind of had that confidence, but how have you kind of seen him kind of morph into that go-to guy for you guys this year?
I think familiarity with our system. we've talked about it a lot. Most guys that stay in our system, stay in our program for more than 1 year, make some significant jumps, make some real improvements. Chris is another guy that's done that. What I love about what Chris is doing right now is he's scoring the ball efficiently, above 50 from the field, above 40 from three. Again, the thing that Chris has got to continue to do better is his assist turnover ratio has got to go up. He's had 5 assists, 2 turnovers in the last 2 games. So he's trying. He's really trying to do what we're asking him to do in terms of reading the game below the free throw line. But his efficiency is off the charts right now, and he's playing at a really high level, playing like a first-team all-league player as well.
Coach, you guys are riding a 5-game win streak. Do you think this team's like kind of starting to gel, especially with a lot of the newer guys?
Yeah, I think our connection is much better than it was 3 weeks ago. And that's in terms of what we're doing on the floor, and also just spending we've been really trying to emphasize with our guys, the way you become a connected team is you build relationships with one another. And I think our guys are doing a really good job understanding that 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were not a very connected team. I think we made some real progress in that area, made a conscious effort to get better in those areas on and off the floor. And I think it's showing with the way that we're playing. We're certainly making progress. Still things we got to get better at. But obviously this is a big week. We go get 2 this week, starting with a big one on Wednesday against Robert Morris. I'll feel good about where we're at.
Glad after missing a bunch of practice time before the season, and then obviously the first few games, how are you seeing how he's kind of got caught back up and kind of getting back into the team again?
Yeah, I think Vlad's played better the last few games. Obviously, our offense, a lot of the decision-making responsibilities go to him, Iman, and Vlad. So him just getting back in the flow again, not playing for 6 weeks with his teammates, getting more connected with his teammates on the floor. Having that understanding of who's going to do what, when they're going to do it, the differences in the players on our team and the personnel and playing to their strengths, just being out there, that all comes back to our connection. And when you don't play for 6 weeks, obviously you're going to lose some of that. But Vlad's making some progress. Thought he's done some really good things yesterday, shooting the 3 well, which we need him to do. Vlad's making progress. Excited about as he gets better and better, our team's going to get better and better, and I think he's going to do a good job of doing that.
Jaden got a bunch of minutes yesterday. How have you kind of continued to see his growth and development? So far early on.
Yeah, Jaden's a good player. Obviously, there's always a learning curve for freshmen coming in to Division I basketball. He's a guy that he's trying to do what we're asking him to do. I think he's going to continue to play a bigger and bigger role. We'll see today, what's the significance of the ankle injury for Cam. Can he play Wednesday? Can he not? Is it going to be a week? Is it going to be 2 weeks? That's if it's going to be more than just one game, or if it's going to be a game, that's going to give Jaden more and more of an opportunity to get out there and get some game reps, which he needs. The more experience he gets on the floor, the better he's going to be for us. But really think that kid's got a real bright future in our program.